Well, look at that beautiful mug. That's the Stevie Lee. I am Sean Clench. And, Stevie, you can tell when he's on a vacation. It's spring break in Texas, and Stevie Lee and his beautiful daughters and lovely better half summer. Spring breaking it up, not too far from Austin, but Stevie, it's a great place. We'll elaborate more on it, but just tell the fine folks where you are.
We call this our little staycation, man. We try to get to Horseshoe Bay once a year. But so spring break, well, we had volleyball last weekend, well, the weekend before in Waco, and then this past weekend in Houston, and we got back last night and made it out to Horseshoe Bay today. It's kind of a staycation. My wife is still working. I'm still working, but in between things, we are getting out and hanging out with the kids for spring break out here. So
no, it's a lovely place, man. I'm a big fan of Horseshoe Bay, and
Lake LBJ.
Lake LBJ. It's a constant level lake. It's a lot of good sights. It's also a beautiful place to watch a storm roll in if you're on the upper level of that tower. We got to ask and find out if our buddies at Hargrove Roofing, if they've ever been out there. If they haven't, they're missing out. And
yeah, absolutely. We need to get them out here. We need a company retreat at Horseshoe Bay.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, man.
Billy and Coach and
yeah,
everyone take the Friday off. Let's do a 3-day weekend in Horseshoe Bay with the Hargroves.
And beautiful golf courses.
Before we move forward, and you're going to see at our break, Hargrove Roofing new ad, but that slogan, everybody says it well, but I think you give Billy a good run for his money.
Yeah. Hargrove Roofing, know who's on your roof.
You definitely do every time. And Stevie, it's we all know what month it is, and if you don't, it's time for this.
First of all, it's March, you got to come up with wins around March, and survive in advance. And, today was a big one for the guys, for us, the program. My assist game, I really loved it. Just talking about my free throws, I kind of struggled this year about free throws. The guys been giving me hell because I talk so much about it. But, getting to the free throw line, being confident.
Dare I say it, and I'm superstitious, the Longhorns have flipped the switch to March.
Yeah.
They look like
exactly right. Team. Exactly right. It's March, and it's kind of crunch time, man. You got to come up with some wins in March, and to get a good seed into the Big 12 tournament, and get a good seed into the NCAA tournament. If we can make that, I think we're making that. What do you think?
Oh, they're in. They're in.
They're in. Okay. All right.
All
right. It's just the Big 12 is so competitive, man. We have so many teams that could be in
easily. I think 9, maybe 10 Big 12 programs will make it into the NCAA tournament. I would say right now, if let's just say right now, let's say Texas gets beat in the first round in the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City, because they'll meet Kansas State on Wednesday. I say Texas is a 9, possibly 8. They get a win and they beat K-State. There's a good chance they could work themselves up to a 7, maybe a 6 seed, but a 7 seed for sure. But right now, I'd say 8 seed.
Yeah, and it's tough to be if you're going to be too low. Then you got to play the high teams first. Yeah. So the 1, 2, 3s, and 4s first, but you want to be in the middle of the road, right? Just to get some competition, mid-level, then work your way up, man. So hopefully they do well in this Big 12 tournament. But when the ball is tipped, man, a lot of people want to have predictions and things like that. But man, when the ball is tipped, anything can happen.
100%. And anybody can be beaten on any given night. Just the NCAA tournament, we'll talk a lot about it in the following week or weeks, but the Houston Cougars, man, Kelvin Sampson, he did great. He did a great job at Oklahoma, but U of H over the last few years, they look like the early 80s, Phi Slamma Jamma, really good ball club, number one in the country, Big 12 champs in their first year in the Big 12. And Shed right here from the Austin area, Maynard, if not the best player in the country.
Yeah.
Your thoughts when you watch Houston?
It's fun to watch. They move around a lot, and I know the way they play is they play really hard on the defensive end.
Yeah,
that turns into offense. As soon as somebody is about to get a steal, somebody is releasing, going all the way out to the to their basket, and they get an outlet pass. So they're very well coached on the defensive end, and just know how to get out and start the fast break.
Well, you see this tweet from former Texas Longhorn basketball coach Tom Penders. He also coached at U of H. He just said, "I love the University of Houston and Kelvin Sampson. Go Cougs." And, you know, Sampson and his son Kellen was, I can't remember if he was a walk-on at OU when I was up there. Great. It's a good story. And then Kellen actually coached at Stephen F. Austin and to get his coaching career started during those good runs they had. But, man, anything can happen, but I think Houston can win it all. I really do.
No question. No question. If Texas can win it all too. I mean, when the ball's tipped, but if I can't pick Texas, Houston, U of H is going to go all the way for me, man.
I like it. And here pretty soon we're going to be able to fill out our Stories Inside the Man Cave Bracket Challenge. We had a great response last year.
Yeah.
We had a lot of entries, and we had a great prize. I'm still working on that as we speak. What will the winner of our bracket challenge win? To be determined. Go to ESPN.com, look for the group Stories Inside the Man Cave Bracket Challenge, and submit your bracket now. And then Selection Sunday, which is this coming Sunday, you can go ahead and submit your picks, but get in now. It's free. There's no charge, and you can have a great opportunity to win a pretty good prize for it'll probably be 3 figures worth of something. That's all I can say.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Stevie, bittersweet. Well, we'll get to the bittersweet part, but the Texas women, they're in the Big 12 semifinals as we speak, as we're recording this episode. They're up on K-State right now in the Big 12 semis, 38-30. Texas women are playing for a lot because they could earn a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Coach Schaefer has done a fantastic job with this program in the face of injuries as well. And they just find a way and they keep rolling.
Yeah, man, they really do have that next man up mentality. So hopefully, you know, they can go far in the Big 12 tournament too, so they can get a good seed in the NCAA women's NCAA tournament. But I like watching them too, man.
Yeah.
I was watching a podcast, listening to a podcast with Steven Jackson and some other guys in the NBA. Yeah. And I don't know if you saw it, but I wish we had that clip. But he was absolutely correct. They went around the room and said, "Name me 5 college basketball players, men." And they were like, And then he said, "Name me 5 female college basketball players." And they just started rattling off names: Angel Reese and Flage and all these other girls, and Caitlin Clark Yeah, and when you think about it, is the women's game getting more popular than the men's game in college right now? You know, and then everyone's going to get excited seeing these girls go on to play in the WNBA. And so, are we getting some kind of balance of power coming up? You know, that's a question.
No, it's a great question because I've heard this discussed, and I've more so than maybe ever for the women's game, the ratings on the big 3 or 4 networks, including ESPN, you're seeing more exposure for the women's game. I mean, but just like any sport, this has nothing to do with gender equity. But
yeah,
an individual like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, other big time names, the marketing, they're selling their game really well. And what Caitlin Clark has done at the University of Iowa, it brings more attention. And you're seeing the arenas full or more of a crowd. I mean, the women's game is in a much better place than it has been in quite some time, in my opinion. Women's basketball is more fun to watch, but when you have names and individuals like Caitlin Clark, and you've got polarizing figures like Kim Mulkey, and I gotta say, who went from Baylor to LSU,
and Dawn Staley.
Dawn Staley. I mean, they had a fight where they're going to be out 5 players in the NCAA first round game. I've never heard of such.
Right, it's getting really excited on the girls' side. So, man, we always, set up extra TVs and try to watch the men's NCAA tournament. But, we might start doing some things like that and gathering around the women's NCAA tournament, man.
Well, we need to start picking those brackets. The problem with the women's game that it's improved. There's a lot more programs competing. The problem with the women's NCAA tournament, you can almost be near perfect in predicting who will advance.
Yeah. So there's not as much parity in the women's game than there is in the men's game. So I get that because they're very top heavy. You're right. You're absolutely right.
They're improving.
They're improving. So after the first, let's call it 8 teams.
Yeah.
Then you have a big drop off after that.
Yeah.
Let's call it 8 teams. I guess I can actually call it 5 teams or 6 teams. 4 teams really. But out of respect, let's call it 8 really, really good teams. And then there's some that kind of fall off after that.
Well, I mean, we got programs who were dominant like Tennessee who are not as dominant. And let's face it, UConn is not what they once were, but they're still up there.
They're still up there. I really wish, just being a Louisiana native, that Louisiana Tech was coming back, Man. Back in my days in middle school and high school, Louisiana Tech was on fire with those girls back then, man.
Yeah.
But now there's nothing coming out of Louisiana Tech, But yeah, I'm really happy for the female game to be going in the direction that they're going. I think the NCAA and all those coaches and all these conferences need to get together and try to keep that momentum going. That gives the girls a real choice and outlet to play here in the U.S. Pro style, pro basketball,
and improve the NIL for these women. And by the way, I got to throw this in here, Stevie. Leon Barmore was the coach at La Tech back then. And Kim Mulkey, I believe, played for La Tech. And during that time frame, another school in East Texas, not far from La Tech, Stephen F. Austin was pretty stout.
Yes, true. Yeah, I remember. So growing up in that area, I remember some of those big games in those regions like that. So I do remember Stephen F. Austin having a squad back then as well. Yeah, you're exactly right.
2 years ago, they almost beat Georgia Tech in the first round. They lost by 2.
Wow.
So
yeah,
they're not what they once were.
You had to throw that in there, huh? You had to throw your Nacogdoches guys in there, right?
Axe them, baby. Hey, this is the bittersweet I was talking about, Stevie. It's bittersweet for people like you and I, but things change. And the Irwin Center, the Superdrum, opened in 1977. Man, it had a good run, but look at it now. The demolition of it.
It hurts my heart, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of events there. Our football bankers were in there.
That's right.
Every year, yeah, where they would clear out the floor and put out the tables and of the stage, and the late great Bill Little would MC the ceremony.
He sure
there,
would,
man. So I got big memories over there. My nephew, my wife's nephew, graduated high school there. He's no longer with us, But he had his graduation there. All the games I've gone, all the concerts I've gone there.
Oh,
All the shows that we've seen there. Took my kids to their first circus in that building. So it's a lot that's happening right there, man. That's tear jerking right there.
It is. And you can look in the background, cranes, the skyline. It's this picture is somewhat powerful. It should say evolution and constant change.
Yeah, and it's going to continue to change because that drum is making way. That immediately behind that drum right there is the hospital system.
Right.
So that drum is making way for more of the UT medical school. So we're going to have some world-class nurses and doctors and neurosurgeons and things like that coming out of the University of Texas at Austin now. So all this is going to be hospital complex and a really good teaching hospital. So it's bittersweet. You're right. The drum is going away. We got a new arena, so we shouldn't be too mad about it. The new arena is fantastic. But it's also making way for innovation in the medical field.
Yeah, it's all positive.
Yeah.
It's all positive. And exactly. So Dale Seaton at UT is where I've been recently. Phenomenal work, and where the Irwin Center is now during this demolition is where an MD Anderson campus will be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's huge.
MD Anderson Austin. That's going to be fantastic, man, for the region, and expansion of the hospital and healthcare in Central Texas.
Yeah,
so that's good.
It means a lot because it's really hard for a lot of people to get to Houston, but to have something right here in the center of Texas, that's pretty phenomenal. And one thing that doesn't change or evolve is a son, his love for his mama.
You really do your thing.
Oh, yeah.
You're in it.
You know why?
Why?
Her right there.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Talk about your family.
So this is my oldest brother right here. His name's Smokey. This the middle child, BJ, baby boy. That's me.
That's you.
That's me.
But then the beautiful woman in the middle.
Oh, that's mother. That's Mom Dukes.
You can talk to Mama Dukes right to the camera if you want.
I love you, Mama. That's you.
Have you called her? Have you called her yet
Not
today
yet.
to talk about?
I'm about to call her after this.
And what are you going to say? What do you think she'll say to you?
She's so proud of me. She'll probably cry.
Is that going to make you cry?
Nah, not yet.
Devondre Sweat.
Good kid, man.
Great kid, great sense of humor, and definitely a proud mama's boy.
Yeah, no question, man. And he's the baby. Why is the baby the biggest?
That's a big old baby.
Yeah, man. That's
First
good
rounder.
stuff, man. And I'm happy for him performing in the combines. He did put up great numbers to be 366 pounds and moving the way he moves. He's on his way in the next couple months. So what is it, April? Next couple of months, he is changing his whole family's life and dynamic, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy the University of Texas. I'm happy that the University of Texas helped him get to that. I'm happy that hopefully he got his degree and he'll be a part of the T Association, so he'll be a brother for life. So just another good kid in the fold.
How can you? I like to meet someone who does not like him because he is. Yeah. He is, whenever he decides to call it quits, Devondre, whenever he decides to call it quits in football, he's going to have a bright future in whatever he does. There's no doubt. No doubt.
If you don't like Devondre, there's something wrong with you.
It's on that person. There's something. That person needs to look in the mirror and figure out what's wrong with him. Hey, I got to ask you something. There's some legislation now, and I know we already have college football almost every night of the week, beginning on Tuesdays, but this tweet from the Kirk Bowles, the legendary veteran Austin American statesman writer, said, Fox Network, they've got contracts now with the major conferences. They're going to broadcast a Friday night college football game every week this coming season. I mean, high school football in Texas is significant. So let's say, for example, there's a recruit that may want to visit or is being recruited by whatever college football program's playing on that Friday night. I mean, I know they're not going to play every Friday night a certain program, but what's your thoughts on this? Do you think it's a big deal, or are we making too much?
It's significant, yeah, but like I would love to see what teams they have playing on Friday night. You're right. In Texas, man, there's small towns that close down early to go to the football game.
100.
Yeah. So that's I hope Fox is calling this a test run. Because what Fox also can do is put the high school players on TV instead of college football games,
right.
And that'll buy into the whole we started it all, type thing. Like they start out putting just the college or the high school teams on the big games, like when DeSoto played Plano, or was it Plano? That big game that DeSoto played at DeSoto. But so you can put those big games on, but it's I guess the money is in college though, so I don't know.
It's ESPN does it. They have a high school. I think they're on ESPNU. I think you got Miami Northwest. You've got a few of those programs from California. Bishop Gorman from Las Vegas. The high school. There's a couple in Arizona. They've made it, but I don't know. I when this first started, I was kind of against it, but then again, if they're drawing ratings, Fox. If it doesn't work for them financially and there's not enough eyeballs, they'll change it pretty quick.
Yeah, excuse me. Sorry about that.
Hey, it's all good. Hey, one of your fellow former Longhorn defensive linemen is back in Austin, coaching high school football, and Big Malcom Brown is at Dominic Savio High School. It's a private school. There's a growing amount of private high school football programs in Central Texas, in particular Austin. Malcom Brown, Big Malcolm, as we called him back then, played for Charlie. Had a pretty good NFL career. He was a dominant defensive lineman. I think he's from Brenham. And Savio got a good one because whether you want to call it recruiting or a magnet, this is only going to help the private school game because you got Phil Dawson at Hyde Park.
Yep, Hyde Park. Yep.
These programs are growing, Stevie. What's your thought on Malcom? Because apparently he's always wanted to be a high school football coach.
Well, this is his stepping stone right here, man. I don't know much about the program. I am when we get off, I'm going to research this, man, and try to reach out to Malcom. But that's pretty cool. If he wants to be a high school football coach, this is a great way to start. And he's starting out at the top as a head coach. So hats off to him, man. Good luck for the season, and good luck, getting these kids together. I came from a high school program. A private Christian high school program in Louisiana. Yeah, exactly. So back then in Louisiana, and this is, I think, what Texas probably need to look into. In Texas, public school and private schools, they play separate, right? And they have separate championships and things like that. But in Louisiana, when I was coming up, it was all together. The private schools and the public schools played together. And you went out for one state championship in each division, or each class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5A. For private schools to be a little bit more competitive, I think that they should be able to play the public schools and be all in one, I think, in my opinion. But what do you think?
Well, there are 3 private schools in Texas, 2 for sure, 1 in Houston, 1 in Dallas.
That's straight Jesuit?
Straight Jesuits, one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Who play in the University Interscholastic League, which is the governing body of public school
Right.
athletic and extracurriculars in the state of Texas. A program like Savio, Hyde Park, they would have to play in like a 2A or 3A division in Texas. But if you're in the public school classification, they go by enrollment.
Yeah.
And so it wouldn't be fair for these programs yet. And there's quite a few. In fact, the program, there's a program, and I'll get more on this at another time. There's a program here that I do the PA announcing for. They're going to play, I think, their season opener against one of Austin ISD's public schools. They're going to play at DKR to open the season.
Oh, really?
Talk about a memory they'll never forget.
Oh, no question. To open the season. That's good. Yeah. That's awesome.
I think it's awesome. So that's a big time for Malcom, man. I've always enjoyed him. He had I remember the night I was there when he was drafted by, I think, the Patriots. And now he's getting to an opportunity to live out a dream.
Yeah.
All right, we're in the off season, and the Cowboys trying to figure out their NFL draft strategy. They're definitely going to need a running back now. They Pollard opted out, and the Titans scooped him up.
I don't even know what to say about this, man. Now, they had a chance to get the best running back that they could have gotten for the prior 5 years and for probably the next 5 years. And Bijan Robinson, they courted him. They had him around the facilities. He met all the coaches, and then draft day comes and Atlanta picks him up when the Cowboys could have gotten him. And now you lose the running back that you were just banking on, and now you're stuck with your pants down, So it's not. Yeah, it's not about, sometimes as a GM, man, and I'm starting to think that we need to pull, they need to pull the GM responsibilities away from the Jones family.
I've been saying it.
give it to somebody else. But it's not always about right now. It's about the future as well.
Looking ahead.
You're looking ahead. You had someone that was going to carry you for a long ways. And I don't think that, trading up to get Bijan last year was going to be too expensive for them. But even if it was, you was going to have a generational running back like you had in Emmitt Smith, you had in Tony Dorsett, you had in Ezekiel Elliott, you had in I had another name on the tip of my tongue, but you could have had Bijan Robinson in those names, So it's now, hopefully, who's the best running back coming out of college right now? Jonathan Brooks.
The rumors are, and I know Jonathan Brooks, he's a good human being, pride of Hallettsville, Texas. He's recovering from a torn ACL. The rumor is the Cowboys are seriously looking at him.
I get that, and I'm happy for Jonathan Brooks, and hopefully he rehabs and comes back, even better than before. I just think that and this is the crazy part about it. This is not out of the blue. The Cowboys knew that Tony was coming up on a contract year, So why not go ahead and draft the young new hotness, and then, let Tony hit the market and Tony, Tony's a little long in the tooth too. So that would have been a great strategy, and no one would have barked at that strategy. Now everyone is barking at this strategy.
Productivity slipping. He's still kind of on the front end of that career. He's approaching the middle. his productivity this past season dropped, but
Yeah.
that's also partly.
Now, wait, I'm gonna push back on you on that.
Right.
He in a normal NFL player's career, this is the front end. You're right. Running backs get beat up a little bit more, not a lot more than any other player on the field. So they have a short shelf life, in my opinion.
Well, you're not wrong.
Yeah, they have a shorter shelf life than anybody else in the league. It goes quarterbacks, then offensive linemen, then defensive linemen and linebackers, and then the running backs are dead last on shelf life. You know what I mean? So for me, a running back is going to be really, really, really good for 4 years. 4, and Tony's coming up on 4, or is it 5 now?
I think it's 4.
Yeah, 4. So, they should have seen the writing on the wall and going ahead and getting a Bijan Robinson. Now, the way Bijan he runs hard too, but I think he's nimble enough to be shifty that he can add another year and a half, 2 years to his shelf life.
Oh, well, he's still on the rookie contract. Pollard, I think. Listen, I've been a big Tony Pollard guy. I loved him, but he's not your number one guy. He's a change of pace. He's a guy that will get a lot of carries in a game, but he shouldn't be your number one.
Right.
He's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but complete mismanagement by the Joneses again.
Right, and now the Joneses don't have a number one at all.
No, not at all. But it's none of this surprises us at all. But this may.
10th hit of the season for Galvan is going to leave the ballpark. 3-run blast for the Longhorn DH off Zane Petty, and the Longhorns are piling it on the Red Raiders.
So
it makes me smile.
You got a permanent smile. So in the farewell tour of the Big 12 Conference, it's become a common theme. Texas waving bye to Wreckham Tech and putting beat downs on them. In football, baseball on Friday night beat them 22-6 in Lubbock. And this is a pretty good Texas Tech team. Texas did get beat on Saturday and then pulled out a gritty win on Sunday. So take 2 or 3 in the Big 12 opener. But here's the big deal about this, Stevie. This Texas team can hit. They've proven it. They still got to figure out who their pitchers are. And I've said this, but I'm not going to criticize them like so many people are right now. I just can't, because I know how baseball works and I know how David Pierce's teams work. Pitching and the entire lineup do not develop fully until mid-April.
Yeah.
They did find another pitcher, I think, number 5'6", the jersey number 5'6". Dude's got a little attitude. He's got some nasty stuff on that mound. They're getting closer, but the pitching staff is still a little rocky.
Yeah. I haven't watched a whole game yet this year. I've been so busy, man. But I'm gonna take your word for it, man. But you're right. No, pitching starts to settle in a little bit later in the season. So I'm looking to see what the second half of the season is going to look like.
I'm not going to say anything, but I think people are going to be surprised. They're going to be competitive, especially when you can hit the way they are. But Texas has always been known for over 100 years for pitching and defense. How about this? Hook'em softball is number 1 in the country. OU is not. Finally, OU's had a stronghold on the college softball. They won a lot of national championships. Yeah. And Texas is number 1. Still got a long year. But I like this team, man. They're fun to watch.
Yeah. Again, I haven't watched much of it, but I see the highlights, and they are fun to watch. And what I do see is the girls are out there having fun.
Oh, yeah.
If they're having fun, everybody's having fun, and you're winning. So I think that's pretty neat, and I'm looking forward to seeing how far they can go in the tournament as well.
Wouldn't surprise me if they're back in the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City. Would be cool to have OU and Texas face off again for the national championship. There was a list, and it's the most random list I've ever seen. The best college towns in Texas, according to Texas football Instagram and Twitter. I don't mind the top 5. I got it right at number 5. Nacogdoches is a severely underrated college town. Yeah, Marcus, I can kind of see it. College Station, it depends what you're looking for. Lubbock, I can see it. Denton is boring. Hunt Vegas is not that great, but Georgetown, Texas, for Southwestern, you're going to put Stephenville, Abilene, and Waco. I know Austin's changed, but do you not consider Austin a college town anymore?
That's a really good question, man. It is to me still. But there are a lot of other industries here now, man. When I got here, it was government and the University of Texas.
Right.
Well, now it's Tesla. And Dale was here, but Dale just made a big splash in Round Rock. But now it's, like I said, Tesla, is Apple, is Facebook, is TikTok, and all these other companies and tech companies that are here now. It's a college town, man. They don't know what they're talking about. But I mean, Georgetown, I live on the border of Georgetown.
Georgetown's a great city.
Georgetown's a great city. You're right. But when I do think about it, my wife and I, we go out to the City Post. That's a restaurant in downtown Georgetown. That picture is actually downtown Georgetown.
That's the courthouse.
That's the courthouse, yeah. And so right around the courthouse are a bunch of nice Austin-based restaurants that are moving up to Georgetown. And there are a lot of kids that go up there. Yeah. So I don't know if it should be higher as high as 7, but it is actually a nice little campus over there. My daughter had a volleyball tournament there, and we went to their gym, and they have indoor swim facility, diving and swim facility over there. They had a nice arena for basketball. Yeah. It's a small college, but it's not a commuter college. Those kids are living on that campus over there.
It's private. 2,000 students, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So if I was making this list, I wouldn't have put it on my list. But now that it's on the list, I think I should have put it. I would have overlooked it. But you're exactly right. I like it though. I like
Abilene. Abilene has 3 private schools, but I'm not going to consider it. Abilene's boring as hell.
And then I went to Huntsville on a college field trip to the prison over there. And that was scary. I don't know if I would ever call Huntsville a college town. That's a prison town. That's what that is.
You see, Sam Houston's colors are the same color of the uniforms the inmates wear.
Inmate orange. Yes, you're right.
Inmate orange. Nacogdoches, though, severely underrated. And by the way, Georgetown, coming up at the end of April, one of the best 3-day festivals, the Red Poppy Festival.
The Poppy Festival, man, yes. Yeah, we go and walk around over there, too, for the Poppy Festival. They're starting to get some good acts up there on that stage, too, now. Well, it used to be mostly like small-town local acts. Yeah. I think, isn't Ludacris coming? Yes. I don't know if it's for that festival. I do for sure know Ludacris is coming to Georgetown for a concert, man.
Woo! Yeah. Let's figure this out. Man, we saw him at Longhorn City Limits.
Yeah, we did. He I guess he likes Texas, man.
He does. I like it. Hey, there's a random question I have for you. You ever thought about how twerking started? Maybe the genesis of it?
Well, I never thought about it because I think I already knew, man. Twerking comes from the Caribbean islands, man.
Does it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a Caribbean thing.
Thoughts. Well, she was working. That girl Gorilla was working.
Yeah, man. I feel like she got some headphones on listening to Uncle Luke, man. down from Miami, man. So that's good. Maybe it did start in the animal kingdom, you know?
Hey, a lot of things start in the animal kingdom. I mean, hey, and we got to give credit to where it's due, because we all evolved, I think, perhaps, if you believe in evolution. There's a good chance we all, I don't know, that's a long discussion, but that gorilla was getting after it. She found her mate, and she's like, I'm gonna twerk it for you, baby. Come on.
Absolutely.
Hey, Stevie Lee, I missed this. Hargrove Roofing and the production company out of Shreveport, they do a phenomenal job with making memorable commercials, promotions. This one was just as good as the one you and I were a part of. And Stevie, man, it's the rise of the kicker. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
Today's going to be an exciting day at the Hargrove office as we bring in a local celebrity. Welcome the kicking phenom, Bert Auburn, conference champion of the Texas Longhorn football team, all-conference kicker. He's going to be our new spokesman. Bert's the best kicker in the conference. He plays for the Texas Longhorns. As you can see, Bert's f***ing awesome. Hey, Stevie.
Dude, you're really replacing me with a kicker?
No, not at all, man. Hey, guys, who wants a picture with Stevie? Anyone? Stevie almost won a Big 12 championship. Hargrove Roofing. Know who's on your roof.
At the State of the Union address, Marjorie Green Taylor, outspoken on the right, wearing her MAGA hat. I don't know how to say it properly.
Yeah.
Joe Biden humored it, and he gave that old grandpa look to the granddaughter. Whoa. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that, man. It's okay for, the political beliefs and things like that,
right,
one side or the other. It's really fine. What I don't like is the disrespect of the House, right? When I was in college, I remember when George W. Bush was speaking at a podium, and someone threw a shoe at him, right?
Yeah.
You remember that, right? And people on the left was laughing at that, and I was like, you know what? That's not funny. That's disrespect to the office, right? And then now when you fast forward to these days right now, and there's someone on the left that's the president, and someone's screaming at them from their seat while they're doing a State of the Union, State of our Union, meaning unite, right? Disrespecting and yelling the office. I don't care who's in that spot. If they're a Democrat, Republican, or independent, that spot is very, very sacred, or it should be. And you have to respect the seat. No matter who's in it, you have to respect it, right? You have to respect Donald Trump in it. If this is what the country wants, you have to respect that. If this is what the country wants, you have to respect that. So she can wear whatever she wants. That's fine. And that was funny the way Biden looked at her. But just don't be disrespectful to the seat. I don't care about the man in the seat. It's the seat that you have to,
whoever the individual is,
So
yeah.
That part was not funny. Her yelling that from her seat during the State of the Union, but walking up to him and doing all her antics, they can get pretty funny, man. I saw an interview with a lady that stopped her in the hall
in Britain from England. I think.
Yeah, exactly. She's fiery, man. She can fire him up, but just let's try to respect the seat, man. Try to respect the office of the president of the United States, not the person. Whatever you feel about the person, feel about the person. Yeah. But when that person is in that seat, that is the seat, So
that is the seat. And the interview you're talking about was funny, and this is kind of a summary of it. I think it was a reporter from a network in Great Britain, asked her all this and about the conspiracy theories that those with Trump present, and then it evolved to what about Jewish lasers? And Marjorie Green Taylor said something to the effect of, "No, how about you talk about Jewish lasers, and how about this? You can F right off."
Yeah.
Like, wow. American politics is
man,
comedy show overseas.
Yeah, and it used to be, and I don't want to get too far in it, but it used to be some decency there, man.
We got to get back to that.
Yeah, like they're on a campaign trail. If someone was to say a bad word, it was like, oh, he cannot use that language. But now politicians are cursing left and right, and it's just, I don't know, man. And I mean, I got a potty mouth too, so but
we all do. But you know
I'm
what?
not running for president though, so.
Well, you know, Stevie may have a potty mouth sometimes, but he also has a good working knowledge that of tips for those visiting the Austin, Texas area. An ATX pro tip. What do you got, Steve?
Well, I told you a little bit earlier, I'm gonna stick with where I am right now.
Right.
Pro tip. When you want to do a staycation, man. For me, I am north of Austin in Round Rock. That's where we live, north of Austin. And it was an hour and 7 minutes to get out here, man. And if I wish I could show you outside my hotel room, we're overlooking the pool. It's very, very nice. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, I bet you can.
See,
yep. That's a
pool's
beautiful
back
view,
there.
Stevie.
Yeah.
Horseshoe Bay, baby.
You can kind of see, yeah, there it is. That's one pool there, and then you go down to Lake LBJ, and there's they have beaches down there, like man-made beaches. Lake LBJ is a rock bottom lake, so it's very clean. Boating, so we booked a boat and a jet ski to take the kids out on Wednesday. So you know, there's so much you can do here. You got stand-up paddle boards and all this stuff that you can rent. Lit putt golf. So tonight we're gonna go play putt with the kids, and it's a real grass putt. It's not that turf and stuff like that, you know. And then they have, you know, this crazy explosion of pickleball. So they have pickleball courts.
Yeah, love it.
That you go just rent a paddle and play pickleball. It's a bunch of families out here for spring break right now. It was just pretty packed out here, and it's kind of like the hidden jewel. And so the other pro tip is Horseshoe Bay is where the Texas billionaires go and play.
Yeah.
The real estate on this lake out here is freaking crazy, man. I mean, you talking, it's nothing to see. Small fixer-uppers at $2.5 million, all the way up to $10 million homes. If you're out here at the pool, you just look up, and about every 5 minutes, you see Lear jets flying in and out.
Oh, yeah.
The private airport over here. So it's a hidden jewel that the Texas billionaires come and play, and they renamed it. The lake used to be called Granite Shoals Lake, right? And they renamed it after Lyndon B. Johnson, Lake LBJ. One, because, you know, he's from this area, but two, when he was president, this was his like Camp Mabry. He would come out here and hang out. His girls would be out on the lake out here, and the Secret Service helicopters would be, you know, hovering over them, watching over them and things like that while they play on the lake. So this is where they vacationed. And we talked about the highest office of the land. The highest person, the highest office of the land back then was Lyndon B. Johnson, and he would come to this area to relax, to get out of Washington, D.C. That's how cool this place is right now. And it's kind of like the best kept secret, but the secret is out. It's just
it's out.
The real estate is booming out here. Like I said, this airport has Learjets coming in and out, dropping people off, picking people up. The cars are fantastic out here. I mean, this is the Beverly Hills of Central Texas, for sure.
Great golf courses and a ton of retired coaches, big name coaches are out there as well.
Yeah.
Stevie, Tik Tokking in the man cave. You think of pit bull, man. Never thought I'd see the day a pit bull would be fearful of a feline.
You don't have to be scared of the kitty. Come on. It's okay. It's just a kitty. See? It's okay.
Sometimes when you're out dating, you may have heard that too. Don't be scared of the kitty.
You're probably right. Oh man, you're right. But that pit bull was really scared of this cat, man.
Look like those human-like eyes.
Yeah, it's like, what's he doing? That
was a good looking boy, though.
Yeah, for sure. That's good stuff.
Hey, Ben, tell me something good.
Stevie, this time of year, you and I have talked about it a lot. March all the way through April, perhaps the greatest time of year to relax in Austin. And, you're at Horseshoe Bay, you're spring breaking with your girls and your wife, Summer. But what else? Is there any other layer you can add to tell all these beautiful people watching or listening that's something good?
Something good in the Central Texas area, man, is spring break. And spring break fell on South by Southwest in Austin. The hustle and bustle in Austin right now is phenomenal. It's crazy. You got Harry and Meghan Merkel in town. You got all these radio personalities and big time podcasters in town. You got some shows. I was actually wanting to see Gary Clark Jr. at Emos on the East Side on Wednesday, but I'll be out here in Horseshoe Bay, so I won't go. And so you can catch some really good shows right now, man. So Austin is, man, we said it earlier in the show, is Austin a college town? I think it still is a college town with a lot more stuff to do, man. Yeah. So, something good about Austin is it's always going to be something to do. You can come out to Lake LBJ like we're doing right now, but you can also stay in Central Austin and enjoy the festivities of South by Southwest. You don't even need a badge just to be in the hustle and bustle of everything, man.
No.
One time I took my girls out. We didn't have a badge, and they're like, "What's South by Southwest?" And I was like, hold my beer and I'll show you. So I took them downtown, and we walked past the Paramount Theater, and they were doing a movie premiere. So they got to see actors do the walk, the red carpet walk and take pictures and things like that by just being outside, So it's a beautiful week. We might get a little rain on Thursday, but this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, go and enjoy.
Magnificent.
Yeah, it's going to be great weather, great time. It's not too hot out here yet. And enjoy yourselves, man, and go find some good music to get into. Austin is a world-class city, and I'm lucky enough to just watch it grow. You watched it grow as a kid, man, but I got here in 2000, so I've been here for 24 years, and I've seen it grow and grow and grow, and I'm excited to see what the next 24, has for Austin.
I was born in 73, didn't leave Austin until 93, and so Austin was like a slow, steady growth. I mean, it was growing. When I left, so when I was a preteen, I think the population was 300-something thousand. All right. And when I left to go to when I was 20 or 93, it was 465,000.
Oh, wow.
So it was growing.
Yeah.
So we're over a city over 1 million.
Yeah.
That's significant growth. And, and I'll say this, even though I've been anti voting certain people in the Austin political scene, it's still great. And it's a great time of year to be in this and be in Austin. And, the South by Southwest is 2 weeks long. First week is presentations, symposiums, movie premieres, whatnot. Second week's all music. And that's made for people like us.
Yeah.
100%. Stevie, go enjoy your spring break. Great show, man. And hug on your girls for me and Summer. And for the Hargrove family and for this Shreveport OG over here to my right, Big Stevie Lee, and the OG Man Cave boys, that being Hardball Hards, Big Mike, and Coach Mo. What do we tell them, Stevie?
Yeah.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and get it.